Live events are coming back, whether it's spinal screenings or talks, they're coming back post-pandemic. Now, one of the things that have been a hallmark for growing your practice and having predictable growth is doing health talks. When I first started teaching doctors how to do 10-minute talks, some of my critics said, there's no way you can teach people things in 10 minutes. How is that going to generate patients? So mistake number one is assuming that knowledge equals new patients. It isn't. Actually, questions equal new patients. If I were to say that differently, when you give any talk, your job is to raise questions, and those questions get answered in your practice. If you're doing talks and lectures and you're there providing the answers, well, then there's no reason to come in. So again, your job as a speaker is always to raise questions, not give answers, and there is an art to then getting people into your practice as new patients. But I've been doing this for 25 years now as an in the trench. I'm still in practice, and I teach on 4 continents as a chiropractor. And what I can tell you unequivocally is when you get really good at this, you can then do 10-minute talks. And I started doing 10-minute talks and then had my critics say, you can't teach people things in 10 minutes. I said, but we're drawing new patients. It kind of doesn't matter. And they said, there's no way you can pull new patients in 10 minutes. And I started showing the Congo lines and showing the proof of new patients lining up to make appointments after an 8-minute talk, 9-minute talk, because the truth is, even though I'm allotted 10 minutes, you can't go over 10 minutes or that cuts into the most important part of your talk, which is the close. So it's really about getting people to engage and create a new patient appointment. It's not about education. It's not about answers. It's about engagement. It's about moving people from awareness to action, which means creating the new patient. So the reason I'm telling you this is our Speak to Attract Believers is back on. It's a 2-day workshop. I'll teach you how to be a public speaker for new patients. Let's be really clear. Big stage platforms and being a professional speaker, that doesn't really help chiropractors. In fact, there's some inherent mistakes if that's what you're training to do and you want to draw new patients. Do you want to be a chiropractic new patient magnet? Or would you rather be a big platform, big stage speaker? There are 2 different goals when you do that. And if you're trying to draw new patients into your practice, we have this wired. I would tell you if you can learn to do 10-minute talks, you may never want to do an hour lunch and learn again, because if you condense time, you increase the curiosity. And maybe more importantly is it'll free up your Saturdays. You won't have to do screenings when you know how to do talks. So listen, live events are coming back. You can choose screenings all day on a Saturday or a 10-minute talk where you'll get double-digit new patients. We have the results. I have students that have done this. I just didn't feel fair teaching this the last couple of years for obvious reasons with the lockdowns. But here we are post-pandemic, and you've got a golden opportunity to strike hard with this information in a cutting-edge format that will bring in new patients every time you speak. Look, I'm here to help you speak to attract believer. Check the dates. We give you everything, the notes, example talks, live lectures, PowerPoints to go with the material, and we've even added a section on where it's easiest to book talks to get new patients. So in other words, I've added an hour of where you can start booking lectures inside this 2-day workshop, which we didn't used to do. I want this to be a value-rich proposition. Join us for an opportunity that can change the way you grow your practice on command. Grow on command at the Speak to Attract Believers. We're coming back. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, we've been averaging 2 to 4 events a month, which is just great. I mean, it's a great way to get out in the community, spread our message of chiropractic, but also to drive new people into our office to where, you know, I'm not stressing every single month like when I was back 7 years ago opening my doors about where am I going to get new patients from. We just have a steady stream, and it just makes things stupid easy.
It's just so fun to do. I love the talks that we get to go out to do. Our last talk, we actually signed up 34 new patients, and there was only like, I don't even remember how many people were in the room, but it was like there were more people signed up than were in the room. It was amazing.
Speak to Attract Believers. It allowed me to actually expand my location from a smaller clinic to a bigger clinic. In that first year of expansion, I doubled my practice. And in the 3rd year after that, we have 40% growth on top of that doubling the practice. So it's instrumental on my marketing plan, on what I do. I go probably 2 to 3 times a week to speak to any type of business.
It's massively grown my office and my patient base. There's nothing like getting out there and spreading the word and talking about health and wellness in front of people. It's been my #1 marketing revenue source, stream of new patients.
When we moved to Denver,
It was really the only thing that made our practice successful out of the gates. Booking talk after talk, we did about 13 talks before we opened our office, and when we did open the office, it was slamming from the get-go. Got to 100 visits really fast. Done online stuff, I've done a bunch of different things. None of it has been as successful or reproducible as what I learned from Brett.